should have another step in there, but I'm not going to check that one. I'm going to check this one. I'm going to check the 3 steps. The original formula with no numbers in it, the formula plugging in the numbers, and then your answer. And make sure you do this labeling part. Okay, now let's move on to finding area of a trapezoid. A trapezoid, as we talked about, is a 4-sided figure that has 2 of its sides parallel. So here's an example of a trapezoid. The formula for a trapezoid is pretty complicated if I were just to give it to you. I wish that we were in class, because I normally have you do an activity and I give you 2 trapezoids and you try to come up with a formula on your own. But for now, I'll just show you where the formula comes from. So the formula is area equals 1/2 times the height, and then in parentheses times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so if I have one trapezoid, we need to first make another trapezoid to kind of understand where we get this formula. Alright, here's my 2 trapezoids, and I know they're not perfect, but pretend they're the same. I just kind of flipped one. So let me color it so you can see. This side here is, we'll call this side base 1, B1, and that's going to be the same side as down here. So I have the same trapezoid, I just kind of flipped him upside down for the second one over here. So this base 1 is down here, base 1. Now base 2 is the longer side, and so base 2 is up here. Okay, so base 1, here and here, base 2, base 2. So this side would be over here, and then this side's the same one. Now, just like with a parallelogram, how we cut that in half to get the formula for a triangle, now I have 2 trapezoids. Does anybody notice what shape this kind of makes here? And again, it's not perfect because I'm drawing it by hand, but if you look, I have this side is parallel with the bottom side, and I have these side lengths, this one, and then the one way over here, this one, parallel. So we've just made, with our 2 trapezoids, we've made a parallelogram. Now, if you recall, a parallelogram, okay, so let me write down at the bottom so I don't confuse you. I'm going to say area of a parallelogram, I'm going to make a parallelogram, equals base times height. So if I wanted to find the area of this parallelogram, I would say, okay, it's going to end up being area equals base 1 plus base 2, that whole side length, okay, this whole side length, that's going to be my base times the height. Okay, and the height we're not given yet, but the height I would go like this, and I would measure that to find the height. So with our trapezoid, we know to find the area of this entire figure here, it's going to be B1 plus B2 times H. But I only want the area of half of that, so that's why we multiply it by 1/2 in the formula, or you divide it by 2, either way. So the times 1/2 comes because we only want half of this parallelogram. We want half of it, which is our trapezoid. If any of you have your textbooks working, your ebooks working on your computer, if you go to Chapter 8, Lesson 4, I know the page numbers don't line up on the ebook, but they have a really good example where it's a little bit easier to see. It makes it a little bit more clear. So feel free to look at that to kind of help this make more sense. Alright, if we look at this one example, and this will be the last example I give you, I'm given this trapezoid, B1, so the first thing you should do is define what these values, what the values you need, what they're equal. We need B1, we need B2, and then we also need the height, H. B1 is usually the smaller side, so it's 4.3 meters. B2 is the larger side on the bottom, so it's 10.5 meters. and then the height is 6 m or 6 meters. Now, I'm going to be checking for your formula, plugging it in, and your answer with the label. Okay, so about 4 points for each problem. So you need to write first thing, area equals 1/2, let's say h times b1 plus b2. Next step, plugging it in, area equals 1/2. Your height is 6, so I'm going to put this in parentheses. B1 is 4.3 plus B2 is 10.5. Let's see if I can squeeze it on there. Okay, 10.5. So now I'm going to come back here to create some more space. I'm going to erase all that. Now we need to simplify, okay? And using my order of operations, I do what's in the parentheses first. So I'm going to pick another color. Let's go with green, this green. We're going to do this first. So 10.5 and 4.3, you should remember how to do decimals. 10 and 5/10 plus 4 and 3/10. So I line up my decimals when I'm adding. 5 plus 3 is 8. 4, 1, so I get 14.8. So now area equals 1/2 times 6 times 14.8. Okay, 1/2 times 6, I'm thinking 6 divided by 2 in my head. Area equals 3 times 14.8. Okay, and you should have plenty of room on your paper, so you shouldn't need to erase like I'm erasing. You should do all of this work on there. Okay, like I said, you need to have those steps that I'm erasing right now. And then we need to solve. So 14.8 times 3, I don't need to line up my decimals when I'm multiplying. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 14. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. I have one place value there, none here, so it goes one place value over. Final answer, area equals 44 and 4/10 meters squared. Alrighty, if you have any questions, please refer to my office hours. I would love to somehow video chat or email back and forth. I'm here if you ever need any help. You just got to reach out. Okay, good luck this week solving all of your math homework and assignments. I really hope we have school next week. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. All right, adios.